All right, so now let's talk about taking input. Okay, we have our basic scripts here. We have greet, hello, and loop. We can actually modify them to take input, which is super cool. All right, so let's start with our, what is it, hello script, I think? Just echoes hello. Okay, that's super simple. Wouldn't it be nice if it said hello name, just like the other script does, but name was something that came from the user? Let's go ahead and add that. So we have hello name. We just have to define name. We can use the read command. Read is built into bash. You can do type on read, and you can see it's a shell built in, and there's a whole bunch of arguments that go with it. I'm not going to make you read through all these. I'm just going to tell you how they work. I'm not going to make you read through them, and it's called read. Get it? Yeah, I'm hilarious. So we're going to do read -p. This is a prompt. So let's go ahead and say enter your name, space, and then the name of the variable we want to save it into. We want to save it into name. So there you go. Super simple. Here's what our script looks like. Read, enter your name, saves into name, and then we echo hello name. So let's go ahead and save that, and let's run it. Hello, we'll run this. Enter your name. Dave. Hello, Dave. Hey, that's pretty cool. Enter your name. Johnny. Hello, Johnny. That's pretty cool. What about pipelines? We've talked about pipelines, right? I can echo Dave. Can I pipe that into our program? We can. This is crazy because there's no prompt. Notice this. This is already very complicated. I don't know how many bash courses that would start with this, and probably for good reason. There was a prompt here. We had to actually open up standard input and say, hey, let me get some information, because there was no information waiting for me. In this example, it's a little bit different. The information was already waiting for you, so there was no reason to prompt. You could just go right past this. So this is an old little like Unix trick or like Linux trick. You'll see a lot of people do this. There'll be some sort of software. Just imagine like my fake software or whatever. There'll be some software that has a bunch of questions and it'll ask you multiple times, like, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? And you get sick of it and you're like, yeah, I just want to hit yes. I just want to hit yes for every possible option. That's why the yes command exists. Duh. The yes command just spams your screen nonstop with Y. So you could pipe yes into something like hello. And it will just, in this case, only read it once, but every time it reads new information, it will just get Y and a new line. So, so if you ever have software that prompts you 8,000 times, you can pipe yes into it. You probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't, but hey, it's your computer. You paid for it and do whatever you want. All right, so let's look at our hello script, and we can see this here. Let's comment this out just so this code won't run. And let's do something else. Instead of reading it, let's say name equals $1. This is a special variable, and I haven't talked about it yet, but this is an argument. So this will read the first argument to the program. So if I run hello and I give it the argument Dave, it'll say, hello, Dave. If I give it Steve, it'll say, hello, Steve. If I give it nothing, it'll happily just print nothing. So that's cool, but could we make this a little bit better? And the answer is, of course, yes. We can check. We can check if the user actually gave us something as $1, and we can make an informed decision based on that. So let's do that. Let's say if $1 is set, then, and I'm going to pause right here because I just threw a bunch of syntax at you, okay? Bash has if statements. Here are how if conditionals look in Bash. It's if something, semicolon, then. That is what an if statement looks like. Oh my God, I can't type. That is what an if statement looks like in Bash, okay? It's if, and then something goes here. The something that we are putting here is double brackets, a -n, and a $1. I will explain these more in greater detail later, but -n says, is this variable set? So we're looking to see if $1 is set. If it is set, then we will use it. I'll move this code up here. If it's set, then we will say name equals $1. If it is not set, we can put an else here. Let's read that from the user. Let's go ahead and uncomment this line. So if it's set, then we will use it. If it's not set, we will read it from the user. Now let's close the if statement. Are you ready for this? The dumbest thing you've ever seen. FI. That's how we close an if statement in Bash. I'm not lying to you. That's really how you do it. Let's trash this line up here. We don't need it. So if the first argument is set, then we'll use that as the name variable. Otherwise, we'll read it from standard input. We'll prompt the user for it. So let's go ahead and run hello, and let's give it John. Hey, it worked. That's great. Let's give hello nothing. Dave. Hey, it worked. That's great. That's one way to read from standard in, and we can also read from arguments. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. All right, so here's one of the cool things about Bash. As you can see, we have this double square bracket notation. You might be like, okay, I've seen that. I'm not really sure exactly what it does. It's Bash. You can get a help page on it. There you go. there's your help on the double square bracket expression. It talks about all the different types that's going in there. Don't worry, I'll go over all this stuff as part of this course, but you can even do help on a single square bracket notation, which is a synonym for the test built in. So we could do help test, and get ready. There's a lot of things we can do here. We were using -n, which there's a whole bunch of stuff here. String operators. -z, true if the string is empty. -n, true if string is not empty. So you could use -n or -z, whatever one you want. You can negate it if you felt like it. We used -n. We wanted it to be true if the string is not empty. So we'll talk more about that as we go forward, but if you want to look this information up yourself, that's how you do it. You use the help pages, and you can do help on double square bracket or help on test. There you go. All right, so the next thing we can modify is the loop program. So you remember how it takes foo, bar, baz, bat? Let's go ahead and just get rid of all that stuff there. And let's change it to, let's quote our variables because we're being good. $1, $2, $3, etc. I don't feel like writing them all out. So let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. We run loop, and we can see thing is blank, thing is blank, thing is blank. Well, that's not great. I could put like 1, 2, 3 here, and it works. I could put 4 here, and it's lost. That's not fantastic. That's not great. Is there a way to loop all the arguments? Well, of course there is. So let's go ahead and pull that file back up, and let's change this to, instead of $1 or 3 or 2 or whatever, @. The @ will expand, as long as it's quoted, will expand to be an array of all of the arguments. So this is super useful because I can run loop like this, and hey, it works. That's awesome. I can get rid of 4, and now it only runs 3 times. I can get rid of these 2. Now it only runs once. That's awesome. Now it doesn't run at all because there was nothing in the array. Perfect. That's awesome. That's what I want. When you take arguments in your script, you can either name them explicitly, you can use like $1, $2, or you can just use $@ and you can get an array expansion of all the arguments. Even if none are present, it will just expand to an empty array. All right, so let's circle back. Let's see what we have here. I think we have the greet command that just hard codes the name to Dave. That's awesome. We don't need any more. Let's go ahead and get rid of it. So we RM'd it, we ls, and we have hello, and we have loop. So if we look at hello, that's the one that takes the argument as $1, or it reads it over standard in. Hey, that's pretty cool.